Or countdown or just go?
I already went. I'm live.
All right.
We're doing it live.
Laka.
What's up, peeps?
What up, what up, what up?
What's up? Here we are. Half of us are drunk. The other half just got their shit together.
Should I go grab a beer right now? I feel like I'm playing catch up.
Yeah, you are. You better get a big one, too.
Yeah, well, back from yoga.
I think they're standard sizes, but
You got to get a Foster's, like a giant Foster's or a Guinness.
Australian for bear.
do you guys have a lot of Australian subscribers? I feel like I have an abnormal amount.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 98% of the people that follow me are in the U.S.
Mm.
Yeah, and they're all guys, except for like 3 girls.
You have 3 girls that follow you?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Open the doors for them.
Oh, here we go.
So you guys I just have a black box.
What's
here.
up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Sorry about the sound. All right, what are we talking about? Hold on. You guys can talk amongst yourself. I am legitimately gonna go grab a beer. I got to catch up with you guys.
You do that.
All right.
You got at least a full cup of scotch to catch up to. What's up, everybody in the chat? You badass.
Throw your
mofos.
coins.
I have an Australian. There's an Australian. David Sabadin is in Australia, so he's correcting me on the fact that, well, the non-fact.
Yeah.
We got crypto Beadles in the house. We got I love crypto. We've got crypto love. There's a lot of love in crypto.
So much love. The market needs love right now, man.
It definitely does.
It needs to get rid of Goldman Sachs. They can all fuck straight off. I'm about over their bullshit and their fake news.
Yeah, good thing everybody's in crypto.
Yeah,
for the
I don't think it was
technology.
Goldman Sachs. I think they're doing good. I think it was the fake, the media.
You think they made some money on that? Oh, we're not coming into the crypto market, and then watch a dump go in there
And then go out and say it's fake? Come on. You don't think they had something to do with that? Come on.
I think they're in bed with CoinBase and BlackRock because look at how all that happened. There was ETF FUD with Cointelegraph where they said Goldman Sachs isn't doing anything, and the other dude said SEC rejects ETFs even though that wasn't happening. And then the next day, Coinbase and BlackRock are like, hey, we're having an ETF. Surprise.
Yeah. This is big boy playing big boy games with the people, man, and I'm not down with it at all. I think somebody needs to go to jail for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, I have another New York City urbanista, I guess, and she's like, chick here, crow. So I've got Australians, I've got girls. I guess I have a more diverse crowd than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Goldman screws with traditional stocks also. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do. I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah, do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember last year, but Jamie Dimon called it like a fraud or whatever. But then they were fined. I think they bought like $300 million worth of Bitcoin in the European markets.
Bitcoin is garbage, and then they go in and buy it all up after it crashes.
So it was like China FUD and then JP Morgan. Yeah, in the equities markets, they get fined like I think $500 million to $1 billion a year, and it's just like, well, we made 10 billion, so whatever. Kind of cost of doing business.
Exactly. It's kind of like in Fight Club.
They can't see Crow, it's like God, you can't see him, but he's there. You can hear his towering voice in the background. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Your people can't see me. It's probably better that way anyway. I'm not much to look at tonight, or any night for that matter.
You can look at your thumbnail with your smoldering headshots.
There you go. Yeah, I look much better with Photoshop.
Dude, you got the glamour shots down, man.
Hell yeah, I got a good photographer to do that shit.
I need to go to JCPenney and get some for myself.
JCPenney would have been a lot cheaper, so but they wouldn't look as good. See, I actually look kind of handsome in my Photoshop pictures.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, is right. Jail sounds good, Crow. Yes, it certainly does. But you know what? Like you said, it's like in Fight Club I was talking about. I have French viewers too. What's up, Anthony? I got people all over the world, man. I'm international, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, where are all my viewers from? Just post in the comments what country you're from. I'd love to hear. I think it's pretty diverse.
We'll have to
do it in mine too. I want to compete.
Let's whip them out, boys.
I should have sent out an announcement or something.
It's all right.
People-
Oh, there's
people-
Linda Johnson. How are you?
People will roll in. They'll be watching your videos and they'll see that it's that you're live.
That's true.
They'll be like, "Damn, this isn't pre-recorded. He's actually he's interacting." You got some people from India.
And yes, for
So
those questioning, I do have a
big news
giant
for Crypto Beadles, man. Congrats on that Polymath partnership. That's huge, dude. How did that come about? Do you know Trevor or?
Yeah, actually, Snay knows Trevor pretty well. We've actually been pretty aligned in a couple different things, and so it just made sense for us to just partner up. So that was Snay and Trevor. So
Right on.
Oh yeah, dude. Are you the only wallet that they're working with right now?
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, that's sweet. So if you guys don't know, for some of my viewers, Crypto Beadles, Robert, he
Is a
owns
pimp.
Monarch wallet, badass wallet, and they just got a partnership with Polymath, which is huge news. I think I posted the article in the Discord, but yeah.
Love you. Yeah, I got all kinds of cool stuff coming. But yeah, I was hoping we'd talk about the market today.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's.
Will Ethereum survive? How's that for a topic on the market?
Depends if he has Vitalik, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Here's tweet.
I was talking earlier in a video about the fact that back when I first got into this and I started mining Ethereum was bouncing between $150 to $200 on a high, and Bitcoin was trading at around 82 to 8,500. And so now, and then all throughout that whole time period, everybody's talking about a flippening. So now your Bitcoin's at 6,500 while Ethereum is still higher than it was at the same time. It's at like 225 or whatever. But there is no flippening that's going to happen, in my personal opinion, whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, I do feel that they're realistic, just my personal opinion, I do feel that there are some coins that are out there now that could potentially kick Ethereum down a bit, man. And I'm not even just talking about Cardano. I mean, there are some, I did a video today on GoChain. GoChain's pretty strong, in my opinion. I'd love some of your guys' opinion, especially Beadles, being a developer and having that experience. I'd love to know your thoughts on GoChain, just because I went pretty big on GoChain, and I'm kind of glad they've been holding their own, man, in the market. And but that's my personal opinion. But yeah, I don't know if Ethereum can survive.
Yeah, I mean, Jason is a badass, man, with GoChain. So we'll be announcing something.
Are you serious? All right.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is Ethereum. It's a sidechain solution for Ethereum. I mean, it's pretty incredible what they come up with. So, yeah, no, I definitely like GoChain. Jason, his whole team, bunch of badasses.
Yeah. I had no idea. Dude, is there anybody you have not touched so far? When you have like a list, you got one a week that's going to come out in the news for the next 10 years.
I haven't touched Jake yet. Jake.
Wait till Vegas, huh?
Oh, it's funny.
I'm not surprised that Ethereum's price dropped so much, because if you look at it, all that Ethereum really has done is just been a solution for ICOs. And just look at the market sentiment towards ICOs right now. Nobody wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole. And so, I'm not surprised the price jumped that much, but certainly could come back.
One of my best trades last year was when Vitalik Buterin was not really dead. I had an order set low for like flash crashes because they were pretty common, and Ethereum was trading at like 250, something like that, and I picked like a bunch up at like $40 because it flash crashed all the way down on news of his death. So, I mean,
that was before me.
Yeah, I got started in 2016. But Vitalik, I think his death was like, he actually had to post a picture of him with a block number from Ethereum to prove that he was alive. Because there was a spoof article that came out that he had died in a car crash or something like that. If you look at Bitfinex, the price crashed down to 10 cents from $300.
Oh, I got Crypto Rusty in chat. Now he's worried. He's like, what does this mean for all the ICOs attached to Ethereum? He's freaking out. He's like, I just took all millions of dollars in crypto for race cars that he paid up front for. Here's the thing. Hey, I don't think Ethereum's really going anywhere. Okay, just to help them out. And the projects that are tied to Ethereum, just like somebody else said, people are cashing out the Ethereum they got at their ICOs to get working capital to function during this bear market. It doesn't necessarily mean Ethereum's not going to come back. It's just, I was just making a point that there's not going to be any flippening. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but I think the projects, just because they came off of Ethereum, I think they're probably safe as long as they're good projects.
Yeah, now's the best time.
Ethereum is going to be here for a long time. I mean, they're just going to keep making it better and better. And you got Vitalik that, says, I think he's maybe just a little off sometimes. He's just so smart. He just messes with people just for fun. He's like Ethereum and big shit. He just to mess with people, right? But, they're actively working on plasma and all kinds of other things, sharding, all this stuff on the side. I think projects are going to be fine in the long run. But, right now, it's not ready. I mean, that's the whole thing. Blockchain itself is not ready. Bitcoin is the only thing that works, and it doesn't work for the masses. You need a platform to make Bitcoin work. Otherwise, the mainstream will never use it. So I think all the projects being built on Ethereum are going to be fine once Ethereum gets better. But there's also going to be other solutions that come out that may be better, right? So, there's a lot of people like Neo, a lot of people, I didn't say me, but I think the projects on Ethereum will be fine as long as they're good projects.
Yeah, I think now's the time to get in because, listen, when everybody's talking about altcoins and all these projects, that's the time when you sell them. So now when everybody's dumping them and the prices are like bottom of the barrel, especially if they're good projects, yeah, sure, get in, wait it out, and then, yeah.
The thing that kind of puzzles me is how everybody looks at the market where it is right now and they think, oh my God, the world is ending, crypto's dead. As if this has not happened multiple times in the past. The only thing that's different are the circumstances, the regulations coming into place, all these other elements to the crypto space that's ultimately going to help propel the space much, much further in the long run than it is now. What's so goddamn funny, Beard?
I was just looking at Jake and he's like, I don't know.
He's still nervous about what I said earlier. He just can't wait for Vegas.
No, so my chat's saying that your guys' audio is hard to hear on Robert. It said it's very quiet for some reason.
My audio?
Yo, you got to deep throat that snowflake.
Hey, show me how to do that again.
It's a little bit like this.
The man.
Can they hear me? Do I got to lean forward like this and talk into the microphone? Is everything all right?
Yeah, I don't know. They're just saying it's a little quiet. I don't know if anybody knows. The thing with Ethereum though, like my biggest holding is Omisego. So like I think that Plasma Cash, and Omise and their partners, I think they're the best use case for Ethereum. I mean, they've got a decentralized exchange coming out. They've got their Plasma wallet. Then you've got Raiden Coin. I mean, they've got a lot of really cool, Loom, a lot of like second tier scaling solutions. Because the thing is like the problem is the way that it's built. What is
Echo.
Is it echoing?
It did.
What? Oh, this is funny.
Audio is so weird. Oh no,
I hear you clearly. I hear everybody crystal clear.
It was good just for a second.
Is this better for me? I'm messing with my settings to see if it's on my side.
No, it's not. I think it's on Jacob's side because everyone else sounds good. Now you sound like you're talking out of a cave's ass.
That was yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I've got my mic all the way up, so.
It sure
no, that's
is.
good. I think it's fine. Everyone says audio's good. Crow's echoing. I don't know.
But that's just Crow's natural booming voice. It sounds like God, It sounds like somebody's judging you. Did you see the first thumbnail that you guys made, with the four of us, where he's just looking over at me, just judging me? It's like God,
Oh boy.
That booming voice.
So what do you guys think about BlackRock? That was some big news. Didn't do shit for the market, but big news.
I like the one in Hawaii that you dive off of, right behind the Sheraton there. But the one in crypto, man, I think they just raped us.
BlackRock, that could potentially be really big because the FUD article yesterday, the guy was saying that the ETFs haven't been approved because they're for people who wouldn't normally give ETFs or get ETFs approved, whereas someone like BlackRock or Coinbase, they're more likely to get ETFs approved. So I think that is good news.
More likely than the CBOE?
I would say just as likely, if not more.
What do you guys think about ETFs in general? You guys think we need them? You think they matter? You think, they don't care? What do you guys think? I can't tell what Love's thinking.
I think Love wants an ETF, it seems.
I personally think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for the market as a whole for institutional money, but I don't think we need it. I think everybody's waiting around for it like it's the second coming of Christ, when in reality, it will help long term, and I think overall it'll probably help stabilize the market to some degree. But we don't need it to get back to a $20,000 Bitcoin, and waiting for it's just plain stupidity. That's just my opinion. It's just there's been so many people burned in the space so far, buying at a high and then panic selling at a low, that everybody's waiting for something powerful, some omnipotent being to come down and say it's safe to get back in the space. And it's just uneducated people that are making those decisions.
What I worry about is it's the same set of people that are in this, environment we're at, and it's all the same money just moving from one coin to the other coin. And without new money coming in whatever form, whatever shape it comes in, we're going to be stuck in this vicious cycle of, this little up and down area until we either have retail investors, we have backed, we have some ETF, where every $1 that comes into the market cap boosts it $50. It's going to be really tough for us to see that market cap, go up with just the same players in the space. So I'm really hoping that we get some form of new money, soon, because, it's good for all of us. But at the end of the day, does it really even matter unless you're a trader, right? If you're just long-term, on tech, our tech really isn't ready for it yet anyways, right? So even if all the money comes in, what do we have to show for it other than Bitcoin, right? So, and then the masses will never be able to understand Bitcoin anyways, because they don't understand the private key, the public key, the wallets, all that kind of stuff. You need a platform for it to work off of. So, really, this is kind of like I think of it as kind of a great time unless you're a trader, because it allows you to kind of keep your head down, work, get the awesome products out there. And then once they're there, the money comes in, everybody's happy, except for the traders right now. Unless you're one of them short guys, or you're like Jake that just has this crystal ball that knows everything.
Yeah, son of a bitch better start teaching me something here soon.
Yeah, pretty well.
Every time.
The thing with ETFs, nobody really knows what a fucking ETF is really what it comes down to. Pardon my language for you channel.
Right?
But ETFs aren't necessarily
exchange traded fund. It's just a consolidated group of cryptocurrencies that are traded almost like a singular entity on exchanges.
Right, but just the ETF markets in general, right? Like ETFs, they get liquidated all the time, and it's a pretty new financial instrument. It only came out in the 90s. Like, this isn't something that's gone back to it's not like shares and stocks that goes back to the 1900s. This is a fairly new financial instrument, and there's ETFs that are getting liquidated all the time on oil, on gold. And so just because we get a Bitcoin ETF doesn't mean it's going to drive the price up, because that ETF is a derivative of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is shit if the price is going down. That ETF is going to also get liquidated just like the rest of us, just like futures you can get liquidated. So it doesn't necessarily, I think that like how we saw the price run up massively in December on speculation of a futures market, CBOE launched the futures market, CME, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So once one ETF gets approved, it's going to go parabolic for, maybe up to 10K, 20K again. And then as soon as that derivative instrument comes out, we're going to start seeing those short sellers. We're going to start seeing those, it's just another way for big money to invest in Bitcoin and take money from a retail trader, personally. So I don't think we need it. I think the tech is why you should be in Bitcoin, because you control your own money. I mean, that just makes sense to me personally.
I actually agree with that. And I'm actually curious, which one of you guys is running mission control? Because it sounds like I'm hearing walkie-talkies and shit going on and off and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I hear the same thing.
Oh.
I think it's the big banks. They've tapped into our stream.
Since we're talking about that stuff and conspiracies, I think the ETFs are a huge red herring. So nobody was talking about them until Arthur Hayes, the CEO of BitMEX, said, I think $50,000 by the end of 2018, the best way to get there would be an ETF. All of a sudden, ETFs on fire. Everyone's concerned about ETFs. And who's profiting the most? Arthur Hayes from BitMEX, liquidating everybody. And then when there are ETFs approved, people get liquidated with that. It's just the biggest red herring ever. And who's in bed? BitMEX, Bitfinex, Tether, and Andre the Giant. Anybody want a peanut?
Very nice, Andre the Giant.
Totally
they're all working together, and it's such an unregulated market, man. So you got to think like a hedge fund. If you're gonna play in the markets and you're gonna really like trade, you got to think like the way that these guys think. You got to hedge, you got to deleverage risk, I run a trading group, but people come in and they're still asking, how do I set a stop loss? And you're just like, and these are not like people that are coming in with $1,000. Like one person came in with $250,000 and was like, how do I set a stop loss again on Binance? And I'm like, what the hell are you doing trying to trade $250,000 when you don't even know how to set a stop loss, you know? So it's like, that's why traders, like actual good traders, can clean up in this market. But the other thing is a lot of traders are coming over from Wall Street. They're coming over from Forex, and they're getting murdered in this market too.
Because it's way more unpredictable. That's what I was saying today. Like, I know that you and there are others that are really good at TA. There's just a lot of stuff to me that, while I'm actively trying to learn technical analysis, like I'm pulling in everybody. I even sent an offer to Wendy. I'm like, just teach me shit I don't know. And I'm like, I want to learn from different people, different perspectives. I saw that offer. It wasn't PA, yeah. Whatever. But I do want to learn from different perspectives. But the thing is to me, when I'm looking at what everybody else is looking at, you cannot predict shit like what happened this past 48 hours. You don't see, there's no way to see that shit coming because it is controlled. And I don't care if it's through the media. I don't care if it's directly through dumping coins on exchanges. I don't care how it is. It's all controlled. And so to me in the crypto space, yeah, it makes sense a lot of these Wall Street guys are getting their clocks clean because it's just not the same deal. And there's not as much money. There are trillions of dollars in the general stock market or whatever. We don't have all that.
Do you think this is going to give birth to a new different trading sphere? So last season we had, people holding. Now this season we have, people that are shorting and making all these trades daily. Do you think this kind of maybe kills the hodl mentality and people start becoming, start flocking more to like Jake to do the daily trades and to do the weekly trades? And
not for people just, like me.
Well, yeah, you're a dinosaur. Yeah, but
no, I look at it two ways. You've got your altcoins that to me are about supporting the technology, being a part of the companies at the ground floor, growing with them over time through the ups and downs. You're rewarded at the end. And then you have Bitcoin, which to me, Bitcoin is my trading tool. When I'm learning TA, I'm solely focused on Bitcoin. I'm looking to make Bitcoin swings, improve my Bitcoin position. Everything else is locked up and sealed away. I couldn't touch it easily if I wanted to. And that's the way I look at it. It is scaring some people out of holding long term, but my whole thing is grow your coins for a reason. It's you enter a position because you believe in what the company is doing, what their roadmap says, the team, everybody involved, long term. It's not about what's going to happen in the next 30 days. It's about what's going to happen in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years for some people if they're working on retirement plans. Bitcoin to me is the trading tool because it's the one that I feel is the most withstanding. And so, trading the swings is confidence. One way or another, it's going to come back to where it was. That's the way I look at it personally.
What I would tell you is Bitcoin is the hardest coin to trade out of all of them right now.
Maybe. Yeah, it might be true.
Yeah.
Most profitable.
So, Jake, you're a rock star at this, man. So, what's some really solid pointers to people that are new coming into the space? I know people on your channel, are probably all veterans, right? They all know this stuff, but maybe on Crow's channel or Love's channel, they might want to get some good pointers. Like, what's 3 like solid pointers? Like you said, Bitcoin's like the hardest one to trade. Well, what's like some of the easier ones to trade that they can like kind of follow with? And I mean,
one of the easiest strategy. Well, the hardest thing to teach anybody, and this is the hardest thing, like for new members coming in, is patience, right? So like May and June, we maybe entered like 12 to 15 altcoin trades. Just because when the market's not moving up, when it's stuck in a downtrend, you don't try and trade against the trend unless you know what you're doing. Unless you're shorting the market, unless you're doing all these, more advanced trades. So the easiest thing you could ever do is just using like Crypto Love, he talks about on his channel, MACD crossover strategy, right? Like it's a very noobish, but that's just moving averages. You're literally looking for, in a downtrend, you're looking for a flattening off, and then you're looking for an initial spike, and you're not trying to catch the bottom ever. You're just trying to literally trade with the trend. There's a couple of books called Trend Trading, Following the Trend, Trading with the Trend. I mean, they're all kind of simple concepts, but literally you catch those early moving, simple moving averages, and you just buy when they cross over, and then you sell when they cross. I mean, it's so simple, but it just requires so much patience.
Does that take into account when you have 82,000 Bitcoin dumped into the market?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, because I mean, you buy because the moving averages cross when it's like 6,400, right? So then, and then you go up to 7,400, you can take profit. You can hold there. You can set a stop loss. You can set a trailing take profit, meaning as it moves up, you set a take profit trailing stop of like 10%. So as it's going up, and then you get a 70%. Well, I guess on the swing high, swing low, but you get a 20% drop in Bitcoin. Now you're taking profit in that position, and then but that's just super simple. Like you just wait for those moving averages to cross. You wait for the trend to reverse. Like in August this month, we've made probably 100 trades with I'd say 80% profitability or 80% target, or probably more, 80 to 90%. But when the market's moving, that's when you want to get your money in. That's when you want to find the coins that are getting big volume on the volume scanner. So that you just get those in, and then you set your profit zones for 20%, 30%, and then you get out of the market as it starts to turn against you, and you just use those moving averages. It's a very simple system, but it works incredibly well.
You're saying that I should start learning TA using Sia Coin. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Sia Coin? Yeah. That was a great trade for us.
So, all right. So basically what happens though if it just keeps going up? Like last year we saw, what happens to this strategy if we have
the moving averages never crossed back over? Mm-hmm. They just kept going up and up and up and up. And you can use different types of moving averages, right? So you can use, like if you look at Binance, they use 12 over 26. That's usually most algorithm traders. They use the 12 over the 26. So when the 12 moving average crosses over the 26, you can, as soon as it crosses, you can, and analyze it there. And you don't just have to use the moving averages, but this is the simplest system that predictably, there was a really cool quant paper that I read on they analyzed the best moving averages, and I think it was like 13 EMA, which the EMA is a faster moving average. It's more weighted to newer price action than older than average price action. A simple moving average is like all of the price taken into account over a specific period. An EMA is more weighted to newer trades, so it reacts faster to the market. So an EMA over a simple moving average, and then I'd have to show a screen or something, but yeah, that's like the simplest system you could ever do. But it just takes patience, because you could be in a trade for like 2 or 3 months as you ride the trend, and then you exit the trade, and you might not ever get back into it for like 6 months. Like from January till now, we didn't see like some of the longer term moving averages cross back over. So you would have been in cash from January till now for a lot of altcoins.
And you basically set stop losses the whole way through, so that way if there's a black swan or something bad happens like yesterday, you don't lose.
But you can also ladder out. So like Ripple's a perfect example. Ripple's basically what allowed me to retire. So I bought it in January 2017 at like 0.8 of a penny. And then it moved up, and then it moved back down to like, it moved to 50 cents and 20 cents. And then as it moved up, I sold at $1. I sold at $1.50. I sold at $2. And then I sold like the rest of my position at $3.
How did you know to sell it, the rest of it at $3?
What's that?
How did you know to sell the rest of it at $3 as opposed to waiting for it to hit $5? I know it didn't.
Every single indicator, it was capped. In Korea, I think they were paying up to $4.20 in Korea on Ripple. And so, I mean, when you get like a candle that's, you know, that's like it's called a blow off top in Forex. So you have capitulation candles where they're massive red candles down and you get those wicks on the dead cat bounces. Well, you have something called a blow off top. And so Ripple had all the hallmark signs of a blow off top. Now, and I'd been a part of the Ripple trade in May where it went from a penny where I bought it to 50 cents, and it had the exact same structure, and it never actually broke its all-time high in Bitcoin value. Bitcoin was just more valuable. So even though Ripple went to 50 cents back in May, it never actually got there again in December. But it got the same Bitcoin value, but the US dollar value was now like 10x because of Bitcoin's value. So I almost always chart in Bitcoin charts. I don't typically watch the USD charts because they're much more accurate in Bitcoin charts, in my opinion, just based on liquidity, because the USDT markets are still not very liquid. So if you're an analyst, I wouldn't measure on the USD charts. Now you can use them sometimes, but yeah.
And are you constantly taking your money out and putting it into something like Tether or TUSD or, you know?
I like TUSD because when Bitcoin goes down, your Bitcoin value goes up, and USDT is just a flat value. But TUSD, it'll hold its dollar value, and so you can actually, you know, make money when Bitcoin, like yesterday, like you can hedge against with it. Like if you can't short on Kraken, BitMEX, or Bitfinex, well, you can buy into TUSD because that's going to hold its dollar value in Bitcoin value. So as Bitcoin goes down, the Bitcoin value goes up, and that's a pretty good hedge.
Huh, gotcha. That's a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you, pretty mouth.
Right, bro. Yeah.
Man, that is creepy.
I need to shill nine my face and burger.
Oh man. Well, hey, you know, I am happy to say that I did get into Ripple. So I got in at 26 cents. So I was pretty happy with that.
What do you guys think about Ripple? What do you guys think about Ripple in general?
They're the best marketers out there. That's all I give a shit about at this point.
Aside from Tron, yeah.
Well, Tron does pretty well too, but they're not really going anywhere yet.
Yeah.
I have a great chart on Tron. It was kind of like my CNBC chart, but it was all the Justin Sun announcements.
Yeah.
Price action. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like their actual partnership announcements, the price goes down on average like 10%. And on an announcement of an announcement, the price goes up on average like 180% because of the like 1,000%. But it is literally like, we have a secret partnership, price goes up, but then they announce it and it's like tanks. Partnerships don't even matter.
Yeah. I wonder how much longer that stuff is going to last, because you were asking Beadles about, you know, what's going to happen with the market. Are more people hodling, trading, whatever? It does seem like the longer that I've been in it making YouTube videos, it seems like people are getting smarter and smarter and smarter because they've been in longer and longer and seeing all this stuff. So, you know, just what you were mentioning, Jake, with the announcement of an announcement causing a huge price jump and the actual announcement causing a dump. So we've seen that happen a whole bunch of times. I wonder how much more often that's going to happen. And there was like the Binance pumps where any coin that got listed on Binance would see a huge pump. We're not really seeing that anymore. So it's kind of like just going through these phases, like something works for a little bit and then it doesn't work any longer, and it works for a little bit and it doesn't work any longer.
So I'm gonna kind of reference what Beadles was saying. You need new money for that shit to work. Mm-hmm. Like when I was trading in 2016, there was nothing. I mean, the liquidity. I was trading on Poloniex, on margin, and you know I was trading shit coins like Horizon. I can't even remember all the names, but they were all delisted. You know, I had millions and millions of bags on tokens you guys have never heard of. I mean, these tokens are long gone now. they're 1 Satoshi, but I bought them all at like 20 sats, 30 sats. But then out of nowhere, they just get delisted. And so, that same thing is going to happen over and over and over. Every bull market is going to bring in new money. And those new investors, they're going to look at the shiniest object in the room, So, legacy coins are going to be Verge, Tron, and Ripple, right? But that was all anybody wanted to talk about in 2017. Now, anybody that wants to talk about now is EOS and Cardano and, whatever the hottest coin is. That same thing's going to happen in the next bull run. All the dumb money is going to come back in, and they're going to look at Sia coin. It's decentralized storage. They could be bigger than Dropbox, 500 Satoshi. That's typically what we see and what happens. So that's where, hodlers can profit when you buy like Dogecoin at 10 sats, which I have way too much Dogecoin because I bought a ton of it at 10 sats, and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And then it gets listed on Binance and it goes to 200 Satoshis and you 20x your Bitcoin holding on that coin. So that'll continue to happen with every bull market run. You just need new money.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You put $1 in, it goes up $50. That's pretty crazy. Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy.
I got 2 questions for you guys real quick. First one is Jacob. I use a 13 and 34 EMA indicator. What do you typically use?
I use all kinds of different indicators, but we look at oscillators.
Well, I mean, as far as EMA.
Just EMA. Yeah, I use 8/21 on a short time frame.
So use really fast indicator, really fast EMA.
Yeah, and then the 50/200 they say is the golden cross. But like I said, I use a couple of EMAs over the SMAs, so exponential moving average over the simple moving average, because those, based on like this quant study that I read, those are historically, they perform much better. And I'll link that in the comments. I'll send that to you guys so you guys can kind of read a little bit more about that. But that's my strategy typically.
I've got some more books coming from Amazon. Believe me, I'm gonna have a whole library of TA books here soon.
Hell yeah, man! Read it all. Like it's the best. It's the best thing to learn. I mean, I started studying when I was 15 when I was trading equities.
So you've been doing it for 2 years? So Elasto seems to be the next big thing with a partnership with Bitmain for mining. Do you guys see it being huge too?
Okay, I got some Elastos questions too.
Yeah.
We all know Joe's not going to read any books. He's just going to roll up and kidnap Jake, put him in a closet, make him teach him everything he knows.
Pretty much. Him or Wendy. Somebody's teaching me something, damn it. It's all I know.
Okay, so Elastos, yeah, man. What are you guys' thoughts on Elastos?
Some people talk about Elastos being part of the Holy Trinity with Neo, Ontology, and Elastos. And
I like Ontology.
They do have some pretty good technology. Rong Chen, he invented Windows Vista, which I think is a good and a bad thing because Windows Vista didn't do too well. But yeah, I mean,
I personally know nothing about Elastos. I haven't even looked at their website yet.
They're like they're aiming to be the operating system. Like, and
I thought that was NOS or whatever it's called. NOS.
Yeah. Well, that too.
I just don't. Bitmain is. I don't know. I don't like.
I don't like Bitmain's business practices. That is enough to keep me away.
Mm-hmm.
Just their affiliation and how they went about promoting Bitcoin Cash when they're like some of the. I mean, they almost have 51% of the Bitcoin network.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a conflict of interest to have that big of an entity that is. I mean, they sold all of their Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash, but yet they're running the freaking Bitcoin network.
That showed them, huh? Joke's on them. Doing cash.
Yeah. No, it's a very crazy scenario. Like Roger Ver, Jihan Wu. I think McAfee's in on it too. Like McAfee quoted a while back where he just loves hanging out with like Roger Ver and Jihan Wu.
Because they're all crazy as shit.
Yeah. They're insane.
I mean, look, I like John McAfee, but I like him from an entertainment perspective. Like, I just like to see what brand of coke he's snorting today. Like, how like, I don't know. There's something about John McAfee, man. Like, Did you guys ever watch the video he put out where he's snorting coke with a bunch of strippers and a gun and all, and he's basically like shitting all over the McAfee antivirus kind of thing? Like, leave me the hell alone about this shit.
How to uninstall it?
Yeah.
He is Scarface. Yeah, he is Scarface. We should be making memes about him. Yeah.
Did you guys follow this Twitter rampage that he went on about his chief treasurer Luke and Gem
Stealing a whole bunch of money, like 62 million or something?
Yeah. I
they
did a
stole
video
62 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it on his wallet? Was it on his unhackable wallet?
It was on BitFi, yeah.
From an
He's like the
entertainment
Steve-O
perspective,
of crypto. Yes, that's true.
it's just too good, man. So I got a question. Rolex 23 donated some money and said, which is better, VeChain or Cardano?
That son of a bitch asked the same thing in my chat.
Oh, well.
Oh, look at he's hopping room to room.
Did he give you money?
is.
Dirty.
He didn't give me anything. He tips all the time in my chat. Trader, Rolex.
Hey, welcome here, man.
Have any of you
how to
ever
trade.
seen $1 of any of these tips? I'm curious. I've never seen a stinking dollar from any tips since I started
I don't
my
know
channel.
how to get access to that money, to be
I don't
honest.
either. I have no idea. I might have clicked like give it to a charity thinking I'd ever only get like $1 in my whole life. I don't know. I'd probably still give it. I don't care about it, but I've never seen it. Anyway.
It goes straight to Randall, right to Crypto Love. He set it up for you guys, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's for beard
So
cleaning
VeChain and
products.
Cardano, I've been bullish on VeChain. I have a node, an X node. I really like their concept. I like what they're doing. They have massive partnerships. Their technology is like effing mind blowing with what they do with RFID chips. I mean, they can track crops like in the soil, measuring radiation all the way to the frickin' consumer, and they can track it from the truck. I mean, their use cases are just through the roof, but Cardano is a platform. So the question I've been asking myself, I just had a really long conversation with the ex-president of LaunchChain, Dustin Byington, on whether dApps now own the value stack, whereas protocol 2017 was the protocol layer. They held the value, and the fat protocol thesis written by Kyle Samani. I think it's moving to dApps. I think that dApps are going to capture the value because there's so many protocol layers now, and they're getting to basically feeless protocol layers that I don't think that you're going to be able to capture as much value anymore. So you have to be the one that acquires the user, because then you're going to have the dApps that are built on the protocol, but the dApp themselves, they're going to have their own protocol. And so they're the ones close to the user, and I think that they're the ones that are going to capture the value. So I think those are the ones that the tokens that are going to have the most money. So VeChain has its own platform, but they also have the users on the platform. Whereas, Ethereum, Cardano, EOS, they're marketing to developers. They're not marketing to consumers. So the company that's marketing to the consumers, that gets the biggest consumers, that the application that gets the biggest user adoption, I think that's where the value is going to be. So now I think it's time to start looking for the Google of the blockchain, the eBay of the blockchain, the Amazon of the blockchain, because I think that's where the value is going to come from in 2018, 2019, 2020. Yeah,
you're right. I mean, just like in life, cash is king, right? So in the crypto space, it's conversions, it's customers, right? So if you have a killer dApp, right, you have that thing with all the customers, they'll find a blockchain, they'll find a platform, to run it on, because there's so many of them out there. Somebody's going to get it right. And it's really, let's face it, if we're just looking at transactions per second, it's easy to do that on a side chain. It's hard to do that decentralized, running it on a bunch of different nodes. So there's already solutions out there. You just need that application that brings everybody to the chain, and then worry about the chain, to run it on, because there are side chains you can run things on right now that would do everything that we need done. It's just for the purists, it wouldn't be, 100% decentralized. So people might freak out about that, just like a Ripple, right? Because a Ripple does all the transactions per second. It's not the platform I'm talking about, but that has the speed, right? It has the speed.
They're more decentralized than Ethereum. That's what David Schwartz said.
Well,
you're right.
Yeah, Vitalik, owns a bunch of, Ethereum, right? So
would you guys
actually
discuss
sold
the
it.
closest
Sold it all.
simple real world coin token use case out there?
Yeah, no, I was being sarcastic.
No,
But,
I'm just kidding.
But no, I mean, you're exactly right. Once you have something that brings all the boys to the yard, that's what's going to, actually, work, right?
I heard it's your milkshake.
Oh, see? Just though, man. It's your beard, baby.
According to my chat, it's all the beards. That's what's getting everybody going.
I know that you're really bullish on Siren Labs. I saw your video on it. It was really well done. That's a really good use case too, because I mean that I think it's one of the best techs out there.
What do you think about them going out and buying a land yacht and like islands and shit with the ICO money?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but what you really need for mass adoption is basically a solid use case for people to have that Facebook, for people to have that Amazon, for people to have that cell phone that's using blockchain technology, and people don't understand it, don't need to understand it. They're just using it and it works, right? So that's when you're going to see it. And to get money in, you kind of need that. It's kind of the hype a little bit first. You need some hype that'll bring in the money, and then if you have the product, that'll bring on mass adoption. So we're still a ways away, but Siren Labs, they're going to be dropping that phone this year, and it works. And it's pretty exciting, man. I've never seen a sexier phone in my entire life. I've seen the actual phone. I mean,
have you?
Yes, and it is.
You should watch this video. It's like an hour long.
But that's not even the phone. That was their prototype. I was there on the last day when it came in from the manufacturer. They're actually making it there at Foxconn, right next to the Apple phones. And I saw it and I got to hold it. And oh man, I'm telling you, it destroys my 10X. It destroys all those phones that are out there right now as far as looks, and then being its own having the ability to.
Who's developing applications for it? That's my question. The phone can be beautiful, but if I can't use it for everything I need to use it for, it's kind of worthless.
It's a fork of Google. It's a fork of Android. So everybody can use it. So it's beautiful. I mean, you've got Apple, you've got Android. It's a fork of Android. So you can put all your dApps and apps and all that kind of stuff on it. So I really think it's going to do really, really well. I know there's some other phone manufacturers that are getting into the space because they're a little worried, about losing their customers to a blockchain phone. So you're going to see a lot of competition, I think, in the space. And Siren Labs, I'm hoping will be the first one to deliver on it because obviously I'm an investor in it, and so
I am too, admittedly.
I love the team. I love the people that they have there that are working on it. You can actually go there and see them, day after day, actually, working on the tech. They've got, like a retired colonel from, like the Israeli intelligence division, doing all their security on their phones. They're actually like the security in the phone isn't like some kind of software, like a McAfee, antivirus thing that you put on top of your software. It's actually built into the kernel of the phone. So, I mean, it's like super bulletproof. It's pretty incredible. So everything that I saw, and I'm excited. And I know that if I'm able to give that phone to people and they're able to use blockchain tech and not know, that is going to be huge for the space.
When are you going to call them, Beadles, and work out a deal so that it comes stock loaded with the Monarch fucking wallet? I'm waiting for that news announcement.
I can't talk about that stuff, man. So
NDA, man, NDA.
I know it's bound to happen at some point. It's just a matter of when I see it in the news.
Well, I'm a huge Siren fan and an investor, so I'm not a financial planner, advisor, any of that stuff. I love Siren Labs. Enough said.
Rolex 23 just hit me $5 to tell me he did send me $5 for the same damn question, and to tell me not to ever say that he didn't.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rolex.
The importance of decentralization is getting like much more important as time goes on, because I mean the censorship that's happening right now is insane. I can't even send a freaking link to a YouTube video about crypto in private messenger on Facebook. They block me. I can't, there's like people are getting shadow banned on Twitter. I mean the amount of,
and that's crazy because I've seen some pretty ridiculous videos on Facebook Messenger recently.
You can put the most horrific human on human acts of violence on Facebook and no problem. You put crypto, you'll get your channel banned. Like my personal channel, my personal one has been flagged for like political speak and crypto. My Crypto Beadles, Facebook page has been, like not banned but flagged. Our Monarch page flagged or banned. Facebook's crazy, but
Omar got banned.
Yeah, they're flagged, so you can't run any kind of ads or anything on them.
I just
whatsoever.
tried running an ad for the Chainwise convention, and they wouldn't let me. But I haven't experienced anything outside of that. Like my pages, my links, all that have been fine. They just said you can't advertise crypto.
Yeah, it's just, the thing is everybody wants decentralization, but they really don't know what that means until they run into a problem. When they lose their money, when they send it to the wrong address and there's no one for them to point their finger at, there's no one there to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm sorry, sir, let me fix that for you. There has to be some kind of solution in this decentralized network that takes care of the end user, or we will never have mass adoption. So like when CoinBase, is telling me, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, I'm like, dude, it's great for, the 1 or 2% of us. But for the 98%, they're never going to get into it other than just to buy it and hold it and pray it goes up, because they don't know how to spend it, right? Because there's no platform out there that allows for cryptocurrency usage, and there's no customer service factor for them. Why do you think Coinbase does so well? Coinbase does so well because it's super simple, and there's somebody on the other side. If something goes wrong, they'll take care of you, right? So with decentralization in general, there needs to be that customer service, that customer support, and I don't think AI is going to do it. So I'm leery in general about 100% full decentralization. There needs to be something. And
that's where DAOs come in place.
It takes months. So imagine you lose $1 million in a trade. You send it to the wrong address, and you got to wait for 7 moderators or 7 people on a board, 6 months, a year for you to get your money back. I mean, you want shit now, right? Something goes bad, you want to be on that phone. You want help. So that's what we in the community, especially of builders, we need to figure out.
I think that just kind of echoes to the whole ecosystem in and of itself, right? So like I got into crypto because not because the price sucked when I got into it. I got into it because FDIC insurance on banks, they only hold 250,000. So I wanted to hold more money securely for myself. So I put more money in Bitcoin so that I just had custody of it in case, shit went down, the dollar deflation. It was just a hedge for me. It just happened to go up, which was great. But the thing that's going to happen is you've got regulation in decentralization, and not a lot of people want custody of their own money. Like we don't put cash in mattresses anymore. We don't bury gold in the backyard. We don't have safes in our houses. That's custody of your own money, right? That's the whole point of a bank, and that's
why right now moving it out.
But so you're going to have a coexisting ecosystem. You're going to have a decentralized ecosystem where you can, transact peer-to-peer, kind of like a barter system in Bitcoin or whatever. And then you're going to have a banking system that still exists. I doubt we'll ever see the banking system go away. I think it's just going to be an evolution or a coexisting ecosystem. That's just
20 years, the banks will be gone.
Well, that's the thing. There's always going to be banks, right? I mean, they've been there from the beginning of time till now. It's just, what are they going to be using, right? Are they going to have their own cryptocurrency, their own global cryptocurrency? What is it going to be? It's not going to be cash. We all know that. They saw crypto and they're like, at first it scared them. And now they're like, hey, wait a minute, guys. We can make a lot of money with this stuff, and we can print as much of it as we want. So I think crypto is kind of like it was initially for the people. And if we're not careful, we're going to lose control of it. And the bankers are going to rule the world with it. So we have to be careful. You know what I mean? As far as digital currencies go in general.
Do you think that this is a Trojan horse from the government to get a one world currency? Are you guys on that conspiracy theory?
Totally.
I did a whole video on it already.
I did a video on it too.
Oh, yeah. You did? You shouldn't have copied mine, cheater. Dude,
I did it before you had a channel.
Stop traveling to the future to see what the hell I'm doing. I do think it is. I think it's absolutely. I think it's the best way to get people to adopt a one world currency. It's the only way that it would actually happen without a revolution.
Grassroots.
Yep.
Like I've always said, back creating wealth, creating businesses. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just find the people that are extremely smart, that are really, really good at making money, and you just kind of walk in their footsteps. And it's kind of the same thing here. So we were able to get ahead with Bitcoin. Now kind of follow the big banks. Not what they say to the news, but what they're actually doing. And if you guys can start to follow what they're doing behind the scenes, not what they're telling the public, that's when everybody's going to make a lot of money too, the regular class of people. Otherwise, the safest bet's always going to be Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, for just holding, right? I think, for holding, I think Bitcoin's it. But
The only thing about Bitcoin, though, is I don't think they considered the transfer of wealth that's been happening with cryptocurrency. That's not something I think, unless they figure out a way to get it all back, which is maybe what they're doing right now with these bullshit articles about Goldman Sachs.
Well, they could potentially already have it because there's, I forget how much, there's like 4 million Bitcoin that are lost or unaccounted for. So you figure the ones that are lost are probably lost.
Like the ones that have yet to move anywhere from Satoshi Nakamoto's actual wallet?
Dude, it could potentially be the Satoshi could be the NSA, could be someone from the NSA. The NSA was asked if they invented Bitcoin. They
My vote is CERN, but that's okay.
That. Yeah, any of them could have been, because cryptographers can't tell you or don't want you to know that they have the technology. So it could have been invented by CERN or the NSA or whoever, and then the person either the government created it or the person outside of working for them created it.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows, man? We could speculate all day long. Maybe it was aliens, but
it might have been me. I could have done it.
Technology. Yeah, maybe it was Crow. Yeah.
Dude, maybe we're all living in a simulation, and this is like the link out of that simulation, and Satoshi is the person who created that simulation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think blockchain's pretty damn cool, and so we just need a couple use cases, just one solid one, and it's going to take off. But
like one freaking wallet where you could hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple on it. If there was one freaking wallet we could do that on, game over.
Wait till I plug it into your bank account. Wait till we plug it into reoccurring payments and all the cool stuff that's coming. We have so many cool things that are coming. I just wish I could say it. Yeah, just wait a week.
You can say it. Nothing's stopping you. Go for it.
No, I can't.
Such a puss.
Do you guys have any user questions? Let's ask the audience.
You guys need to get into politics if you really want change. Crow would be awesome with his presence. Just thought I'd add that.
The booming voice.
I actually thought about running for governor like years ago. I didn't actually do it. I'd like created a Facebook page and I was like, I'll run for governor and something needs to happen, especially in Ohio, this shithole boring ass city, this state.
Yo, wasn't there an active shooter in Cincinnati?
This morning, yeah, man. And then I was talking about it in my video and some douchebag in chat was like, oh, you want to talk about the shooting to try and like clickbait your viewer? I'm like, you bastard, I live here. I just like banned him for life. Yeah, it was like 3 people shot and killed and the shooter was shot and killed. And nobody knows why. I haven't gone back to see any more details, but yeah, it was like a mess, man. Right on Fountain Square, which is like, they've got a lot of big events that go on, free concerts, all kinds of stuff on Fountain Square.
You just sold
it's shocking all the shooters are men. There's never any female shooters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're stupid. What can we say?
Women are always smarter. They just whisper in the men's ear and get us to do whatever they want us to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Women are smarter than men. We all know it.
Yep.
Someone said the banks are going to use XRP.
If Stellar doesn't beat them to it, but I mean, Stellar with IBM, with all the partnership IBM has, Jed went, he created obviously Mt. Gox, sold it to an idiot. The idiot screwed everybody over. Then he went and created Stellar, created Ripple, got into it with people at Ripple. Now he's created Stellar. I mean, Jed's brilliant, man. And the partnerships he's making behind the scenes and things like that.
Does he have Asperger's or something? He sounds real smart, but he just can't get along with people, apparently.
When you have somebody that's really, really intelligent, some people just they can't slow down to be around other people. You know what I mean?
I have such a hard time with other people.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can tell somebody the same thing over and over again, they're just not getting it. You just kind of move on, right? So maybe that was happening. Maybe there's an ego clash. Who knows what was happening? But bottom line, wherever he goes, he creates value. And so now that he's over with Stellar, I'm not saying that they'll outshine Ripple because both of them are basically the same technology of sorts, but I think those are 2 solid use cases for banks if they don't have their own system that they launch first. And we all know that they're working on several. So there's quite a few out there. What's the newest one? It was just out. Crap, I forget. It's not. It's not Turmoil. It's something like that though. Not Terra
Turnio?
something. No, it's
Turnio's built on Stellar's blockchain, I think.
but there's a stable coin that just came out that has a whole bunch. Even Binance backed it. I forget the name of it. Terrace, maybe, I don't know, but something like that just pops up, and it just ends up taking over everything in the banking institutions because they want control. They want something that they can actually control, and something like Ripple they could. So something like that definitely could be the banker's choice. I don't think it's Bitcoin.
Oh, so here's a question. So you guys think that Bitcoin is going to last, for a long time, or you think that eventually Bitcoin will go the way of other altcoins?
I think it's gonna last, man. It's like the Kleenex. It's the first to market. It's the granddaddy, the king, all that kind of good stuff. But what I wonder though is when they have the halvening in 2020, I just wonder how much of it sells off in the winter of 2019. Because if you notice the halvening, it's always like 3 to 5 months before you'll see like a peak, as far as the price, and then you see people start to sell it, and then it actually goes down after the halvening, and everybody else thinks it's going to go up so they start buying into it. I wonder if that's going to have some kind of detrimental effect to Bitcoin in 2020, but who knows?
We're seeing a lot of big, these are events that are like as big as it gets. The biggest drop in the SPY, in the US equities market, you're seeing Deutsche Bank at like all-time lows, potentially like going underwater with their stocks. We're seeing country after country after country's currency getting debased. We're at a point where, there's some major global economic shifts that are about to occur. And it's, they did a study that showed that Bitcoin is the only non-correlated asset class that exists in the world. And so as a hedge fund, that's the holy grail of a portfolio. If you're managing $1 trillion in assets or 30 billion, like the New York State firefighters pension fund or something like that, Bitcoin is a holy grail because it's non-correlated to stocks, bonds, equities, the housing market, the US dollar, or anything like that. So I personally think that Bitcoin is going to be around for a long time. You've got smart contracts coming to it. You're seeing privacy features that are being built on it. You're seeing the Lightning node with SegWit, with all these different things for second layer payment scaling. You're seeing all these things. So I don't think if you want to talk about it, Monero, Dash, Ethereum, all these things were supposed to be built on Bitcoin, but the core dev team didn't accept the proposals. Like all of those features, all of those coins, and then they became their own blockchain because the core devs of Bitcoin, they wouldn't allow it. So you talk about smart contracts, they should have been built on Bitcoin. Vitalik wanted to build smart contracts on Bitcoin. Not many people know that. Yeah,
what's funny too is just to add to your point right there, my boy David Zimbeck, he's one of the advisors on Monarch. I've introduced him to Crow. He actually did the world's first smart contract ever before Vitalik. So if you look him up, you'll see that he actually beat Vitalik. You know what he did it on? Bitcoin. Yeah. People don't know that. Yeah, people don't know that. Yeah, you can actually build on top of Bitcoin. It's just like you said, the devs didn't want him to do it. So, yeah, Zimbeck actually did that before Vitalik on Bitcoin. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, there was a story. Did you guys go to Bitcoin Miami? There was a story about how like Vitalik, he wrote for Bitcoin magazine for, like 5 years, he's forgotten more than probably any ICO developer that exists right now. He's probably forgotten more about blockchain dev and that's why I would always back Ethereum. I'm kind of a Ethereum maximalist just because of Vitalik's intelligence and in the way that he kind of goes about it. Cause he's more of he doesn't care about price. Like he's really, he's just in it for the technology and he can't be bought. And there's very, very few of those people that exist in the blockchain industry. And so like, I support that and I support him. But as far as like Bitcoin, I just think it's going to be around for a long time. I just don't see it going away. It's the hedge.
One thing you mentioned, Jake, that is when you were talking about how Vitalik can't be bought. One thing that I do like about this market right now is like more and more of the CEOs that I'm talking to are people who are just in it because they believe in the technology, because they want to make a difference in the world, because they want this to succeed. And it's so refreshing because for a long time, it was just, hey, we have this idea, let's get $30 million for it. So I think that is one of the benefits of this market right now.
All I'm going to say is Vitalik should focus a little bit on money so he can afford a couple damn cheeseburgers. That's all I'm going to say.
I think Vitalik has done quite well. But do you guys ever get people, that want to be interviewed by you, to cover their projects? And you ask, do you like screen them first and you ask them some questions and they have no idea, what it is that they're even really trying to sell or pitch, or even fundamentally understand what blockchain is or DLT and how it's not a sandwich. It actually stands for like distributed ledger technology and things like that. Do you guys actually see these CEOs and founders that hit you guys up? I get in my inbox, my inbox is just slammed with this stuff. And you ask them some simple questions and it just comes back like, okay, money grab, money grab, money grab.
I gotta disagree with that sentiment a little bit in the sense that, only because you don't necessarily have to understand the intricacies of the technology you're marketing or trying to manage as long as you have team members that do. In the sense that, to me, it's like...
If you're going to take a shitload of money from people, you better understand the tech and understand what you're trying to do. Well, you better have a team that can deliver, because if you're the head of that team can screw you and all the investors. So you need to have a fundamental understanding rather than just from a marketing standpoint.
That I agree with. But I'm saying that there are going to be things that a CEO may not understand that his developers might. And I don't necessarily think that's uncommon.
Yeah, but there's CEOs and then there's founders, right? So a CEO could just be kind of like the visionary officer that's just like, hey, this is my idea for, XYZ coin. But then you got the founder, the Vitalics, right? The people that actually understand the code, that know what it is they're trying to do. Those are the people that better have their game face and better know the tech inside and out, because those are the people that ultimately are going to be delivering a failed or a successful, fruitful product.
Well, look, I'm going to say this. I've been there. Like, I tried to do this not being a game developer, and I tried launching a game, and I got totally shafted by my primary developer, and like there was all kinds of shit going on, and you're trying to deal with people on remote locations and having everybody report to you, and there's all like, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I am saying that it is possible to not be a developer and still be the CEO of a blockchain-based project, provided you have a trustworthy team that knows more than you do.
That's not what we're saying. I'm saying they can't answer. Like, perfect example is like a cosmetics coin. Our coin allows you to buy makeup and have it delivered to your house, and you're like,
this?
you're raising 22 million.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I actually saw those people. They actually had two models working their booth. They're at
this is real.
Oh yeah. It was they're at the I forget the name of it, but it was right there in Atlantic City. Only like 5 people showed up. I guess that's why I forgot the name of the conference. But they had a booth there and they were trying to sell, that exact same scenario, right? They were putting makeup.
Oh, I was just kidding. I don't really.
Oh, it's a real thing, man. They had 2 models that knew absolutely nothing about blockchain or anything, and they were trying to say why they needed a coin.
Talking about models, Bcash did that at BTC Miami in January. They hired a whole bunch of models to wear Bitcoin.com t-shirts and BCH please, bitch please, like skirts and everything like that. They knew nothing about Bitcoin. They didn't even know that Bcash wasn't Bitcoin.
That's cool, but don't have them as your speaker at your booth, talking about your project.
I got legit conferenced out. I went to like 4 conferences and I just got like so disgusted. The only talk that I actually enjoyed, and I don't know if it's on YouTube, but Jeremy Gardner, the founder of Augur, which is like rep token, he did this talk. I think he was like high out of his mind. Maybe he got drunk like the night before, but in Miami. Did you guys see his talk?
No.
Oh my gosh. He got on stage in front of this is a sold out crowd in Miami. This is like the height of, blockchain in like December, January. I can't remember when it was, but he got up
there and yelled BitConnect.
What? No, he got up there and he's like, I hope that the price of Bitcoin crashes. I hope that, he's like, F your Lambo dreams. And he just went off. He's like,
I'm pretty sure that was the founder of IOTA. Wasn't that the founder of IOTA that said that?
But he went off and for like a good solid like 20 minutes about how he was just disgusted with everybody, how he didn't even want to be a part of the space anymore, about how it inspired me. I was like, yeah, that's true. I talked to like 20 people and like the only thing they could do is like, can I be on your channel? Can I be on your channel? There was like no authentic conversation. Couldn't even talk about decentralization or blockchain. They didn't even understand the concept. Why your project even needs to be decentralized, or why isn't it just on a server? Like, do you even need a decentralized token? Like,
so let's say hypothetically, and of course I'm always going to play the devil's advocate to some degree because I'm just an asshole like that. But you know, when I say, you know, why does your project need to be on the blockchain? You don't know decentralization and so forth. This is kind of a conversation that I had with this like Bitcoin elitist that night we were all there at Wendy's meet and greet, and I was talking to that little meathead. I wanted to smack him in his fucking mouth, and I'm like talking to this dude, and I'm like, look, you know, it's a lot of these side projects, not necessarily because there's a need for them to be decentralized, and of course because they're going after the crypto dollar. You know, it's like it's very transparent. Like they're not fooling anybody. But at the same time, some of these projects have legitimate use cases that maybe they don't need to be decentralized, but provided they can draw people into the space and expose them to the other technologies that may be a little bit more legitimate, ultimately that traffic then spills into the rest of this space and helps everybody. So, you know, just because personally, even if something doesn't necessarily need to be here, it also doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have its place.
And with decentralization, there's no way we can control it anyways. So they'll come in until there's no more use for them to be in here, and then they'll leave.
Right.
You know, just be on the Ethereum chain forever and ever and ever. Until we fork it. So what's your guys' favorite coins or tokens, man? I'm sure the audience would love to know.
I really like Omisego. It's still my favorite token. It's been my favorite token probably since I got in the space.
Are they ever going to actually start doing masternodes? I know that they had talked about it once it hits like 14,000 coins, I think, or tokens. No, it's coins. They have their own chain now, right? Yeah, so 14,000 coins.
Yeah, they were supposed to release like staking details like Q2 of this year. So I'm really not sure. I think that they like right now they're like divided on developing Plasma and Omisego network at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you got Vitalik. He's on their team, isn't he? He's like an advisor as well.
Yeah.
And it's a really solid project. They're always, you know, partnering. And, you know, I love any kind of payment, you know, processing type thing on the chain that allows for people to, you know, basically pay for goods and services anywhere in the world. That's what we need, you know. So we need something, you know, something that works, you know, that allows somebody to get water or rice or get paid for a day's wages, and other than some kind of corrupt government currency, right? So hopefully OMG or, you know, one of these other guys will get there first.
What about yours?
I like Aeon. I mean, it's one that I've been kind of diving in a little bit more. I think Aeon's going to come into play a lot more here, I would say within the next 3 to 6 months.
Speaking of Vitaliks, Matt spoke. We did a 2-hour interview with him at Consensus. He reminds me of a Vitalik type character. He came from Deloitte. He brought a lot of guys over from Deloitte, and he's just a super brilliant guy. So I agree. The way that they're building their token bridges and the way that their technology works, I really like Aeon long term.
Technically, you never hear about them. Nobody ever talks about Aeon.
I got smashed on my channel because I was talking about Aeon too much. They thought I was like being paid by Aeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, but I just really the tech is like mind blowing. You know, it's Juan Chain, ICX, and Aeon. They formed a interoperability alliance like about a year ago. So any one of those that allows for cross-chain compatibility is going to be massive because you need the blockchains to talk to each other to have a true token economy. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
I agree. That's why I think Aeon's going to be such a big deal in the future. I mean, I think Aeon's going to play a big role in the mass adoption overall of crypto. I just think that they haven't really had their opportunity to shine yet. But it'll happen. Matrix AI is another one I see playing a role in that. I see... obviously, everybody knows I like Cardano, but I like Cardano for different reasons. Cardano is almost like my girlfriend. You know what I mean? In the sense that, you know, when I discovered Cardano, I was just like, God, this all just sounds amazing. This is like euphoric. This is great. And, you know, but they're not even going to come of age yet until like next year. You know what I mean? Like even talking to Charles and understanding what they're working on, I mean, I don't really see a lot coming from Cardano until 2019, probably mid 2019 at best. So there are other projects that I see coming up before then.
One thing about Cardano though is they're not marketers. They're freaking academics, and sometimes that doesn't translate to good business.
Right. I agree with that.
That's my biggest concern with Cardano, but Charles is bright. He's got a very smart team. They're taking their time.
I think when they're ready, they'll bring people on board to help with the marketing phases. I just don't think that they're focused on that yet.
The one thing that I like that really bothers me is like, you can spend like 3 years developing something, but you might be outdated by the time you launch it, right? We might be in Gen 10 or Gen X of these blockchain protocols. When Cardano launches, are they going to be behind the curve? You know,
that's very perceptive, right? One of the cool things about Cardano though is when you know him and his friends and the people that are really close to him, you know that all he really wants is to build the best damn blockchain in existence. That's all he cares about doing.
Yes.
And then the people will build on the chain. But the thing is you're right. What if it takes too long to do that? So that's why one of my favorite cryptos, you know, and this is, some people agree or don't, whatever, is Tron, you know, because they're actually doing every single freaking day. Justin is out there creating partnerships and they drop their mainnet. You can build on it. People are tipping each other in TRX right now on Telegram.
Go seed it. Yeah, no, I agree. It
just keeps getting better and better. Their virtual machine that they're launching. I mean, you talk about interoperability, you know, they have that ability, you know, it's like they're constantly doing stuff. Is it the best, most, you know, bulletproof blockchain? Probably not yet, but maybe it will be because they got the money, the resources, and the following, right? So Cardano, I mean, I love them, don't get me wrong. But I just wonder if it's going to be Tron, man, that makes it.
Yeah, there was a funny comment in my chat I just had to share. When Crow said that Cardano is his girlfriend, so Carl says, "So you date not ready girls?"
Hardy har. I set myself up for that one, I guess. Bad analogy. I do think that they're gonna come correct in 2019. They've got a lot on their plate and they're trying to accomplish a lot and get everything ready. I think once it's ready, I'm sure Charles is a brainiac techie, but you know, he's also smart enough to know that he's going to need marketing help. And I don't think that the coin's functionality itself is going to be enough to carry it. You know, I do believe that there's going to come a time when a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to be judged based off of their usage, not just their promise. And I think at that point, Cardano will have a leg up on quite a few. And I think it's really going to be about the use case, the usage of the coin, because we're going to be able to track it and we're going to know who's blowing smoke and whose coins are actually being utilized for something. And I think that the closer we get to revealing a lot of the technologies and getting to the point where they're meeting their milestones, I think that we're going to start seeing coins being judged specifically on that. Who is using what? Not who thinks what coin is going to do something, what coin is actually doing something. And I think it's going to be the coins that help take us into the mainstream that are going to be the most speculated at that point. And so that's kind of where I think we're heading.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tron and BitTorrent, right? I mean, everybody says, "Oh, that's no big deal," but man, they got millions and millions of users.
That is a big deal, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're doing shit every single day, man. The guy doesn't rest. Every single day he's doing.
I own every coin we've talked about tonight, so I mean, all I need is a few of them to do really damn well, and I'm all right.
Yeah.
What about yours, Crypto Love?
There's a whole bunch of ones that like. I mean, like my goal overall is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can, but yeah, because I still think Bitcoin's a big player. But there were a whole bunch of other ones. Like there are some that I like that are higher up, like Neo, Cardano.
Neo and Ontology, man, and that whole back and forth between those two, I have both because I just don't know 100%. So if one does extremely well, it'll offset whatever I lose on the other.
Like I have a lot of faith in Chinese blockchain projects. I don't particularly know. Here's probably why, because most Chinese people who I meet who are my age are light years more intelligent than I am in math and computer science.
All that means is they're better at scamming us.
Could be. You know, could be. I'll admit, like I don't know everything, but I think Chinese blockchain projects are doing pretty well. So those are probably the top 3. But if you want projects kind of lower down, I think Loom is doing some good stuff because they're working. I mean, they're not worried about white papers and that stuff. They're just working on building stuff people can use, like crypto zombies. I think, Lisk has their SDKs coming out soon, so people will finally be able to build apps on there. They need to do some marketing with that, but yeah, those are mine.
I think Monero is still a very important cryptocurrency that I think Zcash might have sold out. I don't know. I have to do more research, but the fact that you can buy it on Gemini and you can buy it on I think whatever, but you can't use the privacy features due to like New York. I don't know. Like what? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like
yeah, that's a complete sellout. But I agree with you with Monero because there's going to be a time. See, like Bitcoin can be completely tracked. They may not know it's exactly you, but they can track everything and they can figure out with where you are with your phone location like that. They pretty much know everybody's Bitcoin wallet address. But stuff like Monero is going to be very useful in the future when crypto blows up because then you're going to need to spend something.
And knowing that you're Pivx is really good too. I think Pivx is the most decentralized privacy coin that exists. And
no, Pivx is cool, but I really think everything you guys are talking about is for the 1 or 2%. I don't think people care. I really don't.
I think Tron is for the 95%, 100%, man. I agree. Like we were talking about before, like Cardano, you're talking about Cardano and how they're going to come out and it's about usage of coin. But the only thing that matters is users. Who's going to get mass adoption? Who's going to have the protocol? Because TCP/IP wasn't the best protocol layer when the internet was invented. There were better protocol layers that came along, but TCP/IP had the users. So that's what we built it on. The QWERTY, the QWERTY keyboard, it wasn't the best one. There was actually better versions, but this is the one that had the most users. So that's the one that got built. So whatever protocol layer has the most users, has the most applications that are built on it, I think it's going to dominate them all. And right now it's Bitcoin based on transactions, but Tron, if they launch it on, with the BitTorrent, they may take over Bitcoin. Like Ripple, they had the banks and they had all these people buying and selling it, but it's a centralized currency.
Yep. Cool. So people were asking about EOS. What do you guys think about EOS?
Everybody's asking about EOS in my chat too.
Yeah. I had big hopes.
I won't touch it. Period.
What'd you say?
I won't touch EOS. Period.
Yeah. I had such big hopes for it. Like I remember when I started the channel, I was finding out about EOS and it was like decentralize everything. Even though you couldn't find out much information about it, but I was like, decentralize everything. That sounds awesome. And Dan Larimer was already behind BitShares and Steemit. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. But I think the way that they went about launching EOS was not ideal. It was produced by Block One. And then they basically took $4 billion of Ethereum. And then they said, okay, not ours, totally decentralized. You guys deal with all the problems. And so I think they're going to have some securities issues coming up.
They started a hedge fund. What are you talking about? They started a venture capital firm. They took $4 billion and now they're a VC firm. What could go wrong when people that have no concept of managing money are now managing $4 billion to invest in other projects? We literally gave them $4 billion to now turn around and invest in other ICOs.
I think that's what killed Ethereum. I mean, look at all that money went, to EOS from Ethereum, right? And then they sold the Ethereum, for Tether or something else. That's $4 billion, man. How did they get paid in Ethereum?
100%. And Bancor and all these guys, they raised 200 million. Tezos, they raised like 500 million. What was it? What's the BAT token? They raised a ton of money, like 50 million, 75 million, something like that. It's nuts. But Ripple and EOS, I have really big problems with giving them billions of dollars, and then they start a VC fund to now fund other projects. That the concept of that is like insane. If somebody asked you for a loan to build a house and you gave them money, but then they started loaning out the money to build other houses,
what could go wrong, right? I mean,
what the hell is going on here?
And they wonder why it doesn't work, right? And all the block producers that are out there, I mean, I've got buddies that are block producers, and they're like, I don't know. It's like, I won't even put them on our wallet yet.
Right
There's
now,
no way.
you can say that it sounds like the dumbest thing any of these guys can do, but if the market comes back and a lot of these alts that some of these companies could have invested in, if they invested in at a low point and they all come back 10x, 20x over where they invested, then they multiplied the money that they made at ICO. You know what I mean? With the Ethereum that they acquired, it might not be such a bad idea.
Them money.
Huh?
They're not a bank. They're not a VC fund. You don't give them money.
Corporations invest money all the time. Corporations, I could buy a Snickers bar today, and a percentage of those profits are going into other investments on behalf of that corporation.
But the point of giving them money was to build a blockchain.
Sure, but if they're still doing that, I mean, let's face it, dude, you're talking about companies that got way more money than they ever needed to accomplish their task.
They took $4 billion, said, thank you very much. Here's your blockchain. We're going to freaking, where'd they go? Oh, crap, what's the island? It's not Bahamas, it's the one next to it. Caymans.
Bermuda?
We'll be at the Caymans.
Everybody goes to the Caymans to avoid taxes. What are you talking about?
That's all I'm saying is they got $4 billion, and then, and here's your blockchain.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't even develop it. They released vaporware. Like, there were so many issues, so many bugs.
Really?
I mean, I get that their transactions per second is like climbing. I don't even know what it's at. I'd have to look at their blocking score.
They have the most. Yeah, they have the most.
Wasn't it like 25,000? Wasn't that like 25,000? I guess blocks or something in an hour or something. It works out to like 6 transactions a second or something.
But like most of the stuff going back and forth is just spam because it's almost free. So like they count that in their volume or whatever. Yeah,
sure, empty blocks too. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. But $4 billion to have a community build their blockchain just seems a little bit greedy.
I agree. Look, I'm like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit for discussion. I won't touch EOS with a 10-foot pole. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Crypto Gladiator asked about Celsius. I just interviewed Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of that.
He's going to speak at my conference.
Because check this out. You guys tell me if I'm wrong with this, but you can put your money in Celsius and then take out loans against it so you don't get taxed on it to pay whatever you need to pay. And then it's like a tax deduction to pay that stuff off. Pretty crazy. I need an accountant to verify that, but
yeah, I think they might have some security issues coming.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. Whenever you start doing asset-backed anything, typically the SEC wants to, have their say in it. So I don't know. I mean, Alex is a smart guy. His CMO, I've met him a few times. Nuke, smart guy. I met him in Israel. Cool dudes, good project. I'm just saying that, be careful with projects like that seem to be, asset-backed of sorts, or they're, leveraging assets. So usually
I just don't like the 2-for-1. Like if I want to borrow $12,000 right now, I got to have $24,000 in Bitcoin to give them. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing for me. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. If I'm just literally holding it and I want to put it into the system to earn interest on it, in addition to the gains that I expect to see long term, I like that. And at some point in the future, I might give it a shot. I even emailed Alex recently because his team was messaging me about the Chainwise conference. Like I guess they want to confirm him. They wanted to confirm him to speak at the conference. I personally think that Celsius could play a pretty decent role in mass adoption in the future. It's just, you're right. They probably have some things that they need to work out, especially in marketing.
Yeah. So what else are the viewers asking? What do you got?
I got a question. So what's your view on miners making the networks work and the ones making the scam networks run? Well, miners are essential for most of verifying transactions. So it's up to the miner what network they want to support, and usually they just do it based on profitability.
I've got one from Rolex23. He didn't even pay for this one, so I want to give it to him. No, I'm kidding. I never even care about tips. Guys, a question to all of you: when the altcoin's going to stop bleeding following following the Bitcoin. I mean, right now, Bitcoin goes down, everything else is going down. Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up.
Not really. I mean, Monaco was one of our trades, and it crushed. When Bitcoin went down, it still crushed. I mean, I think we I don't know, we hit like 22% on that trade. So there's always a couple of hedged tokens. Like this whole year when Bitcoin went down, BNB was the hedge token. I'm pretty sure for Binance itself, like Binance would probably hedge into BNB to kind of like hold value in their tokens. But on Binance, the BNB token was like the hedge for all year. On Bittrex, it was Whitecoin, XWC. Every time Bitcoin went down, Whitecoin held value or went up in value. So it's like these whales, they'll move their money into these like hedge tokens. So if you can figure out which hedge token, you can always like hold money in that or have, specific like limit buy orders in that. But so every altcoin has a market.
You're retarded, Beadles. Beadles just tipped me $10 for a smile.
You got a pretty mouth.
But nobody can see it except for on his channel.
That's a beautiful smile, man.
I just went over to his channel. I'm actually able to see him rather than the black box. So I can see God. There you go.
I think when Bittrex releases all of their fiat pairs, though, like actual US dollars, and then you got 0x and Paradex, which nobody really even talks about, Coinbase and Paradex and the exchange that they're building. Once you get like truly fiat pairs that you can now trade these cryptos, I think that's when you'll start to see the decoupling and Bitcoin having less of an effect. And
Cardano just did that. You can trade Cardano for USD now on Bittrex.
Yeah. But I think that if Bitcoin goes away, I think that crypto as a whole, I don't know if it'll recover. I think that it will be a very, very, I think that crypto is defined by Bitcoin, as Beadles said.
I look at it as the like in the vampire movies, you've got the old elder vampire that, you cut his head off and all the other vampires die. That's kind of that's how I see Bitcoin.
He's like the mega boss.
Yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin were to die, that would knock all the wind out of crypto sales for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like you would have blockchain possibly, but you wouldn't see anything other than financial institution cryptocurrencies, being utilized. It would kill every single one of the believers, most of them, especially like the Tonbay types. It was 1, 2 off the bridge,
Right. Could you guys make this a reoccurring thing and also have a topic each time, i.e., the Bearded Crypto Roundtable?
Oh, that's funny.
Some beards are bigger than others.
Randall, man, he's got the handlebars.
I'm making up for something.
Mine. I just trimmed it.
I need to trim mine. Mine's getting thick. I don't know. I don't
thick
like it
with
too
two
thick.
C's.
I like this though. I like doing this. This is fun.
Yeah, we're actually. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're actually all friends in Telegram. They're our digital
IRL.
friends because we live in front of our computers.
Well, 3 of us actually party it up in person quite often now too. So you're gonna have to join in on that squad there, Jacob.
Yeah, I just don't go to conferences, man.
I didn't even go to Chicago for the conference. I pretty much just went to hang out. Like, my wife and I went, and we had a blast. I mean...
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Of course, Beadles, he's got to pay for everything the whole goddamn time. I couldn't pay for shit. I felt so emasculated. I was like Beadles' girlfriend the whole damn weekend. He even tried to buy me a steak dinner. I'm like, dude, I'm not having sex with you, man. I'm not going to no damn steak dinner with you.
He had a lot of girlfriends that weekend.
Yeah,
I take
you, me. Yeah.
Beadles does take care of his peoples. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
All right, let's see. I don't really have. I have a lot of different random comments and stuff like that. But yeah, ultimately, I think this is cool. We've been at it an hour and a half. I am probably going to sign off though soon. It's like 10 o'clock. Wife's waiting upstairs. You're cute and all, Jacob, but the wife is hotter.
I really like staring at your black screen.
Yeah, I thought you might like my black box.
Crawl up in it. Yep.
Bearded Crypto World Tour. Yeah, maybe someday. Yeah, Jacob, I'm waiting on you to tell me whether or not you're going to start teaching some TA in my conference in February. You son of a bitch. You better get yours.
Yeah, well, I'm having a baby in January.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're having the baby. Yeah, that's a little bit more important. Not too much, but a little bit. Do you know what you're having yet?
No, it's a surprise, man. First one was a surprise, second one was a surprise. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I don't know. Having a surprise is cool. I got to be honest. When we had our daughter, I broke down so bad. I wanted a boy so bad. I'm like, man, I've got 2 daughters already. I need a damn son. And found out I was having another daughter. I broke down. I was mad. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. But now she's like the most angelic child on the planet Earth. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't have it any other way. But, you know.
Just as long as they're healthy and happy, right? That's all that matters. But it's funny. I got a buddy that has had 1 million probably girlfriends, at least. Super famous dude. You know, he calls them accounts. You know, new accounts, old accounts. Well,
Oh my God.
wherever he goes in the world, you know, he has old accounts or new accounts. Well, he knocked up one of these chicks, right? And he's just praying that it's a boy. And I'm like, no, it's going to be a girl, man.
Yep, payback for everything.
Yeah, he finds out next week, so it's gonna be funny.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
Well, it's been fun hanging out. I think my viewers really enjoyed it. A lot of these guys said, "Yeah, make it a regular thing." A couple of them signed off. They said it wasn't helpful, but you know,
assholes.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna
Please,
do?
everybody.
You didn't make the market go back up. What the hell? What use are you guys? Blah.
Here's the most helpful tip. The market will come back someday. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. Drop the mic.
Markets always come back.
Yeah.
You know, the last time there was a big green candle was when that developer ate the
Romano.
Yeah, when he ate the porn star's butthole. So maybe that needs to...
Wow, we just took a hard left. What?
You don't know about that, Crow?
We're talking about Vice Token now? What's happening?
No, there was a developer, the lead developer for Viacoin. There was a joke on Twitter about some people were talking about, you know, whether they would do that. And
what,
he said
Jacob? I don't know what you mean.
You got to draw him a picture, you know.
Can you show me a diagram of what you're speaking of?
Chart it for us.
I'll put the picture as my background next time.
Yeah, draw it in TA lines.
No, but he went to Vegas. He flew out to Vegas to what he called fulfill the prophecy. And it was written up in Motherboard, like one of the most high-end tech journal magazines. It was written up that this developer went and it was Brenna Sparks, I think. She was a porn star. He went and, you know, fulfilled the prophecy.
Toss that salad. Yep.
That day, Bitcoin went to like $7,000 and all the altcoins went up like 30%. And it was pretty hysterical.
So where's this chick at now, and why hasn't this happened again?
We got to check in Vegas every week, right?
Oh, well, hey, maybe I'll have it at World Crypto Con, and the whole conference will turn the whole market around.
There you go. I've always said it was either going to be March or April, and if that didn't happen, it'd be October. So we'll see about October. And that's when it is, right?
That's World Crypto Con. I'm celebrating my birthday for this. I'm not going to remember anything that happens the entire weekend. So I'm not going to feel bad about what I plan to do to Jacob. And it's all good, right? Like, it's just going to be one big party. I'm going to probably eat some Steve Aoki cake, apparently. I didn't even know this was a thing because I've never been to an Aoki concert.
Steve Aoki's badass. I've been to three of his concerts.
Really?
Yeah.
Never been to
legit.
one.
He has a Netflix special called Up All Night, how he was like bullied and all this stuff, but he his schedule, he does he goes to like Wet Republic at the Mirage. He does like 4 shows in Vegas, then flies over to LA, like all in the same day. He does like 6-7 shows. Like, I mean, this guy hustles harder than like anybody I've ever seen.
So he eats a lot of cake to keep his blood sugar up. I get it. That makes more sense.
Sure
he just throws out what's left.
No, you should. He has like a really crazy house. He's a big poker player. He has like a trampoline inside of his house. Like pretty gnarly dude. His dad was actually the inventor of Benihana's restaurant.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Isn't it like a drug money laundering machine?
I don't know, but yeah, that's his dad was, and he was like a stunt guy or some crazy, like that's where Steve he was like the craziest guy, and that's where Steve Aoki gets like all this craziness from his dad. He was like he founded Benihana's, and then he was like did these insane stunts, and yeah, it's all in the documentary. Well worth watching though.
Yeah, I might check that out.
Well,
all right. Well,
cool.
we'll have to do another one of these and actually talk about World CryptoCon in another video. I assume we're all going.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure.
I don't know if I'll be there yet.
I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother is going to be there. So yeah, we'll have to get on that next time. All right.
And congrats, Jacob, on CNBC. That's cool that they're using you basically to, I guess validate themselves, right? That's pretty sweet that they bring you into the mix and they're like pointing to your tweets, and that's
CNBC is trolling me as hard as I mean they literally went back like 2 weeks, and now that they're commenting on all my tweets,
they seemed a bit butthurt with a lot of those comments.
A bearish or a bullish tweet on all my. It's like, hey, 270,000 followers with probably a 20-person social media team trying to come up with the perfect burn on Twitter.
What are they trying to burn you about?
Because I came up with the CNBC contraindicator chart, and so
it's brilliant.
So now they like everything I tweet, they'll comment, is this a bearish or a bullish tweet?
What?
And then they'll
I saw
retweet
something about this earlier in chat, but I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah, no, they keep every time I post something, they'll comment on it, and then they'll retweet their own tweet onto their Twitter page.
So wait a minute, what's this contrary indicator? What do you mean?
Where are you?
Every time you say the market's going to go up, it dumps. Every time they say it's going to dump, it goes up. So basically, do the opposite of whatever they say, and you're going to make a bunch of money.
I know what the fuck contrary means. I'm saying I'm not familiar with this whole backstory. I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay, so I made a chart. I made a chart.
You bastards!
I made a graph.
Fucking shame at all of you in Vegas. You're gonna come. Your next YouTube videos are gonna be hairless. Go ahead.
I made a chart on TradingView where basically I showed that CNBC every time CNBC tweeted, 95% of the time the market went the opposite of what they tweeted. So they were literally the best indicator of Bitcoin of 2018. So I posted this chart. It got like, I don't know. I became the number 1 trader on TradingView, and then like probably 22 publications wrote about it, from like BTC, Bitcoinist, TechCrunch. All these guys wrote about it, and they showed the chart. And now every time they post anything, I get tagged in about 200 to 300 tweets, like, oh shit, like blah, 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 blah. So I embarrassed them because, I mean, it got seen, I don't know, a couple 100,000 times. And so now every time I post something, they try and troll me going, blah, blah, blah.
Why don't they just hire you to take over for them? Wouldn't that be more effective?
I told them, I said, hey, if you want me to come on your show and give you some accurate predictions, they made a post. They made a comment the other day, and they said, weren't you bullish on Bitcoin? And I said, no, we shorted it at 7,500. And then I showed like the actual trade in my paid program. And I said, if you're a paying member, then you probably would have had access to my trading, to this short or whatever. Because like literally it was 7,400, and they were like, they brought on a hedge fund guy who's like, the upside target is 8,000, and we shorted it at 7,400, and they were like, weren't you bullish? I don't know. It's the most ridiculous thing. They have 270,000 followers. The fact that they're like, I have like 10,000 followers on Twitter.
But are those real numbers though? Because like when you go and you see like Bloomberg, they got like 1.1 million people that are subscribed to their channels, and then you watch them live, and there's 36 people, 400 people. It's like, come on now, guys. I know they're huge. They're huge, media conglomerates and things like that. But I don't know.
It's the craziest thing, because like I see the same thing. Like these people have like 600,000 subscribers, and then like their videos, 22 views, and you're like,
wow.
They're all robots.
It is awesome that you have their attention, and they're basically trying to validate what they do based off of the Jake standard. So that is awesome.
It's pretty funny. I've talked to the guy who runs the Twitter account though. Nice guy, but they run like 6 shows. I think that they're just much more, their knowledge is much more based in equities market. I just don't think that crypto is their forte, but yeah.
I got one last question before I sign off. Anthony Monero, which wallets are best and are you using, guys? And wait, which wallets are best and you are using? I assume Beadles would like to answer that question.
Yeah. Do I know this person? Are they like baiting me into this? I mean,
no. It's just he's a guy from France.
Well, obviously it's my project, but look at Monarch Wallet. All right, so look up Monarch Wallet. Go download it on Apple. I recommend it. It's 100% decentralized. We don't even take your email address. So.
Did you guys see Shapeshift? That's big news.
I did see about
that. Now they're KYC. You got to log in. You got to join their little thing, and if you don't, well, you're not going to be able to use service pretty soon. So.
And they also just did KYC for ant miners for getting the
Bitmain did.
ASIC.
Yeah.
And then when Android? I got that questions a couple times.
He's muted.
Yeah, for some reason the mute keeps popping up. Yeah, you'll have Android this month. We should have it on the 9th. So it's going to be a light wallet. It's not going to be quite as awesome as the newest developments in the Apple, but we keep getting hit up all the time for Android. So we're releasing it. It'll have all the basic stuff that the Apple does. But we've been adding a lot of coins. So a lot of coins. And people don't understand. They're like, just add all the coins. And like, cool, if we're a hot wallet, no problem. If we have your private keys, we could add all the coins in the world. But we actually run our own nodes for every single coin that we support. So it's truly decentralized. But yeah, Android will be out this month. So we should have it on 9/9. So, and I haven't even told my own community that, but I was making sure that it would be out and make people happy, because there's millions of people that have Android, so in different parts of the world that not here in the U.S. that would definitely be using it right now to trade Ripple or anything that has really low transaction fees that would allow them to buy goods and services, places like Colombia or Venezuela and things like that. So it's exciting that people will be able to use it. So yeah, Monarch Wallet for me, I like that one. I'm trying to think what else is out there that I really like.
I won't tell anybody what I use anymore, just because I just don't want anybody to know.
Well, if you use Monarch, you don't have to worry about anything. It's decentralized. So you have to hack the actual blockchains to steal money. So if somebody hacks Ethereum or hacks Bitcoin or hacks Ripple or hacks Stellar or any of the other coins that we support, well, then everybody's in trouble. It's not just the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Good beans. Yeah. Good deal.
But it's important to have, I think for wallets, it's important to have cold storage.
Right.
Like Monarch Wallet's awesome, but also there's cold storage wallets out there, stuff like Ledger Nano S, Trezor, those type of options. Just because in order for anybody to steal that, they would either need to do it physically, where they take it from you and get your keys, or it would need to be plugged into the internet and they'd somehow need to hack it. So those are pretty darn secure.
I have a lot of money on paper wallets still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, paper wallets are probably one of the most secure. Trezor is my favorite when it comes to an actual hard, basically a hard device. That too.
I will say about Trezor though, I found a hacker's Twitter account, and I went to his website Twitter account, and man, these hackers are really breaking down ways to hack these Trezor wallets, and it's kind of scary. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to use that one. I mean, it's.
I've got a bunch of these keep keys here. They sent me a bunch of these things, but I really. I don't want to talk trash. Anyways, I haven't given these out to anybody because I don't like them. So, oops. But yeah, Trezor is my favorite for right now. But again, anything that keeps the private keys on it, even if just for a second, if there's like, just it stays on there just, as a shadow or something like that, hackers can get to it. So even with McAfee's, the guy was able to, to hack it, but he wasn't able to take
Play Doom on it.
Yeah, but the thing is they didn't take any money, because for them to actually steal the money, you have to have the private key. So if the private key isn't on the device, it doesn't cache to the device, there's nothing you can really do with it. You can break it, you can play with it, you can play video games on it, but the funds are still safe and secure. So I really haven't played with McAfee's yet. Treasure is one that I use right now, and I know that they fixed the little shadow cache issue that they had, because before people could hack it. Like if you lost your money, say for instance you lost your seed or the PIN number or something like that, people were actually able to hack the device, get into the device, pull the cached private keys out of it, and then get access to the funds for a percentage of it. But they fixed that. And I think Nano had the same issue too. I could be mistaken, but I think one or both of them had that issue. But they fixed it. But anytime you connect to the web, there's potential for problems. So,
is Go supported on Monarch? Someone just asked.
Ghost?
GoChain.
Go.
Oh, GoChain. Very shortly. Very shortly.
Very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could add it like tomorrow. I mean, so it's it's coming very quickly. We have a couple other ones that we are releasing over the next week or two, probably with our 9.9 release. So I think people are going to like that. They're gonna like the ones that we support. But it's not just there's wallets out there, and they're web based. You know what I mean? They actually they track your information. They have your login. They have your email. They have all these different parts to you. I mean, to your information, to what you have on your device. Like, I don't even know how many people have downloaded it. I don't even know their email addresses. I don't know how much funds they have on their wallets. It's completely decentralized. So we actually run nodes for every single one of our coins to make sure that it's 100% safe. Once we launch the hot wallet side of things, you'll have basically a cold wallet solution, then you'll have a hot wallet, and we'll actually share a piece of the private key with the actual user. So that way they'll be able to make recurring payments. That way we're not going to have you, push send every single time you want to send somebody Bitcoin for your Netflix subscription. Every single month, it'll just pay for itself. But I don't want to talk about Monarch anymore. So this was supposed to be fun about the markets.
Yeah, man, for sure. We'll do another one on those. I think I'm actually lost.
Laugh. Imagine if you were in the dark, right? And there was like no power in the house, and you heard that laugh.
As far as the markets go, I'm actually long Bitcoin right now. With where the market's at, we bought back in at like 63.50. A lot of people were scared of there's so many people shorting right now, but shorts are parabolic. I mean, on Bitfinex, they're at like 61% with a 39% long ratio. So it's setting up for a very juicy short squeeze. So I could see us coming up to 6,800, probably max 7,100 to 7,400. And then there it's kind of like decision time again, but I would not be surprised if we bounce from here to a much higher level and alts run with it. So right now, if you're trading or investing, I'm kind of waiting for confirmation to see if we print a lower high or if we print a higher low or a higher high, because that'll really give us an idea of whether or not the alts have bottomed or whether they're just stuck in that same downtrend that they're in. Because if they start printing lower lows, or lower highs and lower lows, then that's going to spell pretty big disaster for the alts. So Bitcoin I'm long, but altcoins are a little shaky, so we're kind of waiting to get confirmation on the alts.
Price prediction for Bitcoin for the end of the year:
$1 million, or I will eat my own dick on national.
Let me get you some ketchup.
He's kind of lowered that bar a couple times now, hasn't he?
I think he said 500,000. He was talking about inflation or deflation or currency supply or something like that. I didn't listen to it, but I think he's trying to lower the bar a little bit.
I wouldn't put it past him to eat it though. I really wouldn't.
He's going to be like 80 by the time that happens. He's going to be like, well, how much more use am I going to get out of this
He's
thing?
getting so old. Every time I see him in a video, I'm like, how is he even talking? It won't be, by the time Bitcoin hits a certain point, it's just going to fall off onto a plate anyway. You might as well just go for it.
Bitcoin price prediction end of year. I'd probably say like 15,000.
15. All right.
I think 25 to 50, although that's totally just speculation. And however, we did have a $24,000 Bitcoin in Iran yesterday, so we already have an all-time high, 24,000.
I had said 28,000, so I was off by 4 G's.
Now, I'm going to sound real stupid for a second, which happens often, actually. But how is it $24,000 in Iran when we're basically in a global market? Like, how has that not resonated with everything else?
Internet controls. Unless you're running a VPN, there's only so much access you have to sell and buy cryptos.
That'd have been a great arbitrage.
Something with currency control, like China, Korea, they control their currency, like the way that you can sell and the way that you can like take currency out of the country. China's like notorious for it. You can't actually like leave the country with X number of dollars. Like the only way to do it is pretty complex. I actually just had a conversation with this guy named Derek, where he said like you have to invest in a company, but you can only invest $50,000 per person on a specialized visa that only a certain number of people to get approved for it. So it's like you can't take money out of the country.
Wow, interesting.
That's why Korea all year on Bithumb and Upbit last year, they were paying like 10 to 20% premium on Bitcoin, on Ripple, on Stellar, on Litecoin. They were literally paying like 10 to 20% more.
Wow.
Because of the currency controls.
All right,
yeah,
gentlemen.
I think we're good.
I'm going to bed.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out. Crow your coins.
Crow your coins.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
God bless everybody.
I love crypto. See you guys later.
See yous.
Yeah, I stopped streaming.
Hold on, I'm not out yet.